What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So look, y'all, I was just watching a Vlad TV interview with Ari Spears. He just dropped it probably like 20, 30 minutes ago. And he was talking about when you look at a person's success level, it's often matched with their off-camera personality and their level of graciousness towards other people. He mentioned Snoop, Nelly, right? Then he talked about how Affion Crockett was always had a weird energy about him when interacting with Vlad and doing interviews with Vlad, and always having weird requests like, why you dropping my interview in clips? I don't like that or whatever. He like, that's how we do. And he was like, well, maybe that's why Affion isn't as far as he wants to be, because he doesn't have a certain level of graciousness towards people. And I don't know if Affion is like this with everybody. He could just be like that with Vlad, right? And so the conversation said, Vlad says, well, look at Kevin Hart. Look how Kevin Hart is always working, always got work. He always is doing something big. He's always involved in something. He always getting movie roles. And Ari Spears goes, yeah, because Kevin knows he plays the game, right? And he says, he called Kevin like a Capri Sun in the summertime. Who doesn't like a Capri Sun in the summertime, right? And he says, I'm not meaning this as a form of disrespect to Kevin, but Aries compared himself to like Hennessy on the rocks, and Kevin is a Capri Sun. And even though he said he wasn't trying to disrespect Kevin Hart, I feel like it was slight. A lot of people try to call Kevin cookie cutter and straight edge, and say stuff like that, and that's why he gets to work, because he know how to be straight edge. He know how to play the game. And they try to minimalize him. They try to, in some ways, I feel like they try to diminish him as a comedian or as a personality, as an individual. Like they're trying to say he's soft or something. Like I feel like they're trying to call him soft. And that's why he gets, a lot of these roles and stuff, because he's not abrasive like other comedians could be. You know what I mean? And I always like to provide pushback on this. First of all, it's the whole thing. Black people say Kevin Hart is not funny. It's popular to say in the hood. Yeah, Kevin may not be your cup of tea in stand-up, but them first couple of stand-ups were dope. Before he really got popping, them first two were really, really funny. And even if you don't like his stand, because I don't like the later stand-ups, I can still see why Kevin is successful as he is, because he's a funny person interacting with him. All like just regular in interviews and stuff. You can tell why people like Kevin. You know what I mean? Why they like his comedic style. Even if it's not your cup of tea. And Ari Spears admitted this. But my thing is, a lot of these comedians who are known to be assholes, they try to keep it as this I'm too real as an excuse to be an asshole and why they didn't make it certain levels, right? Like, you can still be true to your morals, values, and integrity without being an asshole to other people and trashing them. You can, right? You can stay rooted in blackness and stay true to black folks without being an a-hole. You can. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be for real, y'all. Y'all see my personality on live streams. I'm not an a-hole. I'm not rude. I'm not ignorant. But I stand firm with black folks. You know what I mean? I'm not rude to nobody that ain't black. I don't disrespect nobody that ain't black. I don't call people that ain't black out their name. I don't denigrate them or nothing like that. I'm gracious to everybody. But I do stand up for black folks when stuff is happening to our people. You know what I mean? I stay firm on my morals, values, and integrity without being rude to other people. I'm still gracious to people. You know what I mean? So, and I don't feel like I'm compromising anything about myself by still being gracious, because I still stand firm on how I feel about certain black issues and black things and all that. I stand firm in that, regardless. You know what I mean? And so I feel like a lot of comedians use that I'm too real, I'm too this, I'm too real, as an excuse to why they're an asshole to people. Because you don't have to be that way. You can still be real and authentic and still be a good person. And I think they try to act like Kevin is not genuine and not real, when we heard stories about Kevin helping a lot of people. Even when the whole stuff with Monique, he offered to give Monique and them money during a time when Monique wasn't getting work. You know what I mean? So you can say what you want to say about Kevin, but that's solid. And I think, excuse me, I'm under the weather still a little bit, getting over a cold. But a lot of people try to play Kevin. Oh, he played a game. He played a game like he's being a kiss ass, or like he's compromising who he is, like he's like he's just doing all type of like shady, crazy, like he just doing shady, crazy stuff. And that ain't the case, man, to me, man. Even I feel like, for example, as great as a comedian Cat Williams is, them last couple of comedy specials have not been funny from Cat. I don't care what y'all talking about. They have not. But he's still a great comedian, right? As great as Cat is, Cat has had stories about really being hard to work with at times. Carlos Miller, baby mama, talked about Cat putting hands on her, right? As much as y'all love Cat, she got stories about Cat putting hands on her. Cat did this Club Shay Shay interview trashing comedians who never said anything bad about him in his life. Called and insinuating Chris Tucker is gay. And all type of people ain't Martin and them saying stuff about people who never said nothing about him. Right? And y'all love that. And our people are very entertained by what's the word I'm looking for? Salacious behavior. We're very entertained by that. We feel like that is the real shit. When you're just raunchy and just raking people through the coals, we feel like that's realness, and it's not always that. And as great as Cat Williams is as a comedian, he's funnier than Kevin, but he ain't successful, or he ain't as successful as far as like in mainstream than Kevin is. And I think it has a lot to do with the way Cat can come across at times, even with how great of a comedian he is. You know what I mean? And I think people try to slight Kevin. Oh, he know how to play the game. That's why he did. Like, bro, and I got this comment from a person under that video, Ari Spears and Vlad TV and DJ Vlad interview. And the guy name was Mind Bully. And he basically was saying it's silly to recognize why someone is successful and not implement cues to bolster your own career, right? Kevin Hart understands the keys to winning, and he executes it immaculately, which is exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And I got that quote from Mind Bully, a YouTuber by the name of Mind Bully, a guy who had a YouTube channel named Mind Bully. And that's real. I'm going to use myself for an example. This is not to toot my own horn or nothing. I'm just giving y'all an anecdote. When I was at school, well, first, my parents raised me to treat everybody the same way. My father would tell me, my daddy would say, you treat the girl that you feel like is fine the same way you treat the girl that you feel like is unattractive. Don't treat them no differently because you're attracted to one and you're not attracted to the other. Because you don't never know where you may need these people in life. And even if you don't need them, treating people always remember the way you made them feel. You know what I mean? Treating people rude and wrong because you don't like how they look is just terrible. So I would hug girls who I wasn't attracted to, who I was. I would speak to them the same way and hug them the same way. You know what I mean? And so when I was in college, it got me a lot of love from a lot of different people early in my college years. You know what I mean? And so my homie, and I'm going to say his name, my boy Melvin. Melvin, when I first met Melvin, he was fresh out of Chicago, went to CVS high school. He had a lot of Chicago asshole in him. You know what I mean? So he would say stuff like a young Chicago around the way on the block dude would say, very rude and abrasive. You know what I mean? Aggressive at times, not towards me, but to other people. Even, I'm going to say this. Even girls, he had this sentiment in his head that if you weren't attractive, he really wouldn't be talking to you like that. If you weren't an attractive girl, he wouldn't be talking to you like that. He really wouldn't be hugging you and stuff and wouldn't talk to you. He said, man, Malcolm talk to anybody, even if they unattractive. I can't talk to unattractive people, right? He used to say that we were 18 years old. And he saw the love that I got, and he told me this. I'm telling you what he told me. He said, I saw the love that you was getting from people, the way people show love and embraced you and welcomed you with open arms every room you came in, and the way people would be happy to see you. And he said, I was wondering, how could I get that same type of love? And he said, me being your roommate, I saw how you treated people, how you would speak to people. You spoke to the girl that you found unattractive the same way you spoke to the girl that you found attractive. You hugged them the same way. You still was elated to talk to them even if you weren't attracted to them. And people noticed that and they liked that energy. And he said, man, I had to switch up what I was doing and get away from that ignorant Chicago stuff that I was doing on the block. You know what I mean? That I learned in CVS. I had to part ways from that in order to get the type of love that I got. And the type of love that I got, of course, led to me being Mr. Mississippi Valley State University, led to people just, showing me love and embracing me in a region I was nowhere from. I'm from Chicago, 10 hours away from Itta Bena, Mississippi. I'm in Mississippi Valley State University, and they're accepting me and embracing me like I was a native son. You know what I mean? And so the energy that you put out into this world comes back to you is what I'm saying. And my boy Melvin would say he saw me doing that, and he implemented that, and then positive stuff started to come onto him, and things started going the way he wanted it to go. And so that's what Kevin Hart does. It emits positive energy into the world. It come back to him in the form of jobs, relationships, and business ventures, and shoe deals with Nike, and hosting gigs, all in movie roles, and game show roles, and commercial deals, and TV show ideas, and YouTube channel ideas, because he's a person that's gracious to other people. He gives light and positivity to other people who come back to him. It ain't being a sucker. It ain't being a lame. It ain't being a square. It ain't compromising who you are. It's really just being a good person. And letting that be the thing that shines bright. Not you coming around hating on other people, down talking other comedians, belittling them when you're a person of higher stature and it's going to be seen, and you choose to belittle everybody that ain't even said nothing to you. That ain't going to work for you, man. Positivity is what keeps the world going around, not negativity.